You don't think about sugar. It's already there. In your coffee, in your bread, in your sauces, in things that aren't even supposed to be sweet. You don't wake up craving sugar. You just feel off without it, a little flat, a little irritable, a little heavier than the day should feel. So you reach for something small, a snack, a drink, a bite. And it works. For a moment. But here's the question no one asks anymore. Why does something that was once rare, expensive, and medicinal now follow us through every hour of the day? Because for most of human history, sugar was not food. It was not comfort. It was not habit. And it certainly wasn't cheap. Sugar existed, but not like this. So how did a substance once reserved for medicine, ritual, and royalty become something entire populations consume daily without noticing? That answer isn't in the grocery aisle, or the cafe, or the label on the back of the package. To find it, we have to go back to when sweetness was not something you expected from life, but something you earned or were given very carefully. Before sugar was something you craved, it was something you encountered rarely, not in meals, not in daily life, not in childhood. For most of human history, sweetness did not come from plants grown for flavor. It came from chance. A ripe fruit at the right moment, honey found high in a tree, a taste that vanished as quickly as it appeared. And that scarcity mattered, because the human body learned to treat sweetness as information. Sweet meant energy. Sweet meant safety. Sweet meant survival. But it also meant, don't expect this often. Early humans did not build meals around sweetness. They remembered it. That is why the earliest uses of sugar were not culinary. They were medicinal. The first human encounter with sugar was not planned. No one was searching for sweetness. No one was experimenting with flavor. No one was trying to make food more enjoyable. It happened by accident. Most historians trace the earliest encounter with sugarcane to 8,000 to 6,000 BCE in New Guinea, where wild sugarcane grew tall, thick, and fibrous. This was not sugar as we know it. There were no crystals, no powders, no sweetness added to anything. There was only a plant. Early humans didn't cook it. They didn't process it. They didn't cultivate it for taste. They chewed it. Sugar cane was encountered the way grass or reeds were, something to bite, to test, to pass time during long days of movement. The stalks were tough, woody, mostly useless, until the juice released a sudden sweetness on the tongue. Not subtle, not gentle, but intense. And then, just as important, energy followed. Not sharply like caffeine, not immediately, but warmth, strength, a quiet fullness that lingered. This mattered, because sugarcane didn't rot as quickly as fruit. It didn't require hunting like meat. It didn't disappear with the seasons as easily. It was reliable, but it was inefficient. You had to chew for a long time to get anything from it. Most of the plant was waste. It was not a food you could build a life around, so it wasn't loved. It wasn't celebrated. It was remembered. This was sugar's first form in human history, raw plant juice extracted by teeth, not tools. And because it required effort, it remained occasional. As humans migrated, sugarcane moved with them, slowly, organically, reaching Southeast Asia and eventually India between 2500 BCE. And this is where sugar changes for the first time, not because people wanted it sweeter, but because juice didn't survive the climate. India was hot, seasonal, demanding. Fresh sugarcane juice fermented quickly. It turned sour. It attracted insects. Its energy disappeared almost as fast as it was extracted. That was the problem, and Indians already knew the solution. Boiling was not new. Liquids were already boiled to make water safer, concentrate plant extracts, prepare medicinal decoctions, preserve what heat would otherwise destroy. So sugarcane juice was boiled, not as an experiment, but as preservation. As the liquid heated, water evaporated, and something unexpected happened. The sweetness didn't disappear, it concentrated. The result was not crystals, not powder. The first processed form of sugar was a thick, dark syrup, sticky, heavy, dense with energy, sometimes reduced further into soft, dark masses later known as gur or jaggery. Still no candy, still no dessert, just concentrated calories. Ancient Indian text described sugar as strength-giving, cooling, restorative, used after illness, after exhaustion, after heat. Sugar, at this stage, is closer to medicine than food. It is measured, portioned, respected. There is no craving yet, because sugar is still tied to effort. Grow it, harvest it, crush it, boil it, reduce it. That friction matters. Once sugar can be kept, it can be controlled. And once it can be controlled, it can be displayed. Sugar does not become luxury because it tastes good. It becomes luxury because it becomes scarce on purpose. By the first millennium BCE, sugar production requires land, fuel, labor, and time. Boiling juice down is expensive. Wood is burned. Most of the liquid disappears into steam. Cost changes meaning. What was once medicine begins to signal ability. Sugar moves slowly along trade routes, small quantities, high value. In Persia, it appears at royal courts. In the Islamic world, it enters pharmacies and elite kitchens. In Europe, it arrives through apothecaries and banquets. Sweetness detaches from necessity and attaches to display. Sweetness no longer means survival. It means status, but restraint still holds. Sugar is still dark, still heavy, still difficult. Desire exists. Dependence does not. Not yet. Sugar reaches Europe gradually through Islamic Spain, Sicily, Mediterranean ports. Europe does not discover sugar. It inherits it. But thick sugar has limits. It spoils. It varies. It resists standardization. So refiners push further. Between the 12th and 15th centuries, sugar is reboiled, filtered, clarified, forced to crystallize. Sugar turns white. This is not cosmetic. It is psychological. White sugar hides its origin. No plant, no residue. No labor visible, just sweetness. White sugar becomes abstract. Invisible things are easy to overuse. Plantations will scale production, but white sugar scales desire. Once sugar turns white, demand explodes. But production becomes harder. Sugarcane exhausts land, must be processed immediately, cannot pause. Free labor fails. People leave, resist, die. Forced labor enters, not because it works, but because everything else fails. From 1500 onward, enslaved labor fuels sugar plantations. By the time sugar plantations dominate the Korean and Brazil, the human cost is staggering. We don't have a single ledger that counts every death. The system was too chaotic, too violent, too disposable for that. But historians agree on one thing. The death toll reaches into the millions. So many people died working sugar fields, and mills that plantations could not sustain their labor force through birth alone. They survived only through constant replacement. In some regions, an enslaved person's life expectancy after arrival was measured not in decades, but in years. Sugar plantations did not depend on labor that lasted. They depended on labor that could be replaced. This is why forced labor feels like a failed plan, because it was never stable, only brutal enough to hold, briefly, but it lasts long enough to make sugar cheap, long enough to make sugar normal. By the late 18th and early 19th centuries, sugar floods markets. It enters ordinary diets quietly. Tea, bread, sauces, preserves, not to celebrate. To cope, sugar fills gaps, energy dips, stress, fatigue. Sweetness becomes baseline. Absence feels like lack. So we return back to the table, back to the kitchen. Sugar is already there, not as a treat, as infrastructure. Different forms, same negotiation between human limits and human demands. Sugar didn't sneak into your life. It followed a pattern you inherited. And now the question isn't whether sugar is good or bad. It's simpler. When you reach for something sweet, is it helping you recover from something meaningful, or helping you tolerate something that quietly exhausts you? That answer won't come from history. It comes from the moment you notice. And once you do, sugar is no longer just an ingredient. It's a mirror.